of 2.5.
Like this one?
Yes. The only one on your screen, yes.
Okay.
You got the little one that shows you the highest it's been so far.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in mind. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza Charles back to back. So this is going to be your set of questions. And this is also going to go with Rosemary, so these kind of tie in together. So the first wife dies in January of 1744, and then 5 months later he marries the one I just told you about, with the indigo. So kind of a jerk move, right? But ironically, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. You already have the first wife's maiden name. It was Eliza Lamb.
Wow.
So your job is to find out. So you got a 7.1 exactly as well? So 7.1 on both of them, and you already got up to a 15 or so. So again, your devices actually work together. So they work off the same.
Littleton.
Just go ahead. Alexa. Alexa. Never mind.
What do you mind? Straight.
Oh wow. Oh.
Why music?
Listen.
Yours is so much.
That's it. Alexa. Right there.
Yeah, right there.
No, right there. It looks like a full person. That's like the cleanest person I've ever got. Like, it looks better than the actual humans. It looks like an actual human. I saw a grandma getting drunk with like those three. There was one grandpa and then two other ladies. I think. Oh.
Not bad.
Do you want to sit here?
This is the hardest one. Like, my brain does not process words that fast. Yeah. different word. She probably thinks that this is safe for life. They're gonna upload this on their OnlyFans.
I'm still not getting anything. Dry?
That's the video. I love this piece. I know it's weird, but the parking lot.
Bro.
Oh god, maybe they played Taylor Swift.
How are we doing with that word though?
Oh, it's a truck. Wow. Can you see me? Take my video.
Oh, it's at a 3.1 right now.
Yeah. I have like some things coming off the building a little bit. Got a lot of lights around here. I like that parking lot because there's only one electrical pole and I can kind of gauge like how far out it's gonna come. Love weekdays because nobody's out here.
When it vibrates, you've never done that.
That means it's really identifying a word. That's really all it's doing.
Military.
Military?
Student. Military student.
Student. Yes.
Bro, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to record the wall. It was my job. Bella, you got like a dirt pin on your butt. It's okay.
Come through here, they're going to come out of the ivy wall, or they'll come in the way we did. So that way that's why we keep the belly shot, so that way we're not filming them directly. And again, you want to try to get, the length of the alley in one way, shape, or form, because that's what I'm looking for when I go through your data. So again, going to have, especially with this one over here, it's going to give us the purple stick figures on all the way across, so we don't always need that. We just want to point it almost like straight down the alley. You have a perfect vantage point. When another, just even people walking through here, we just kind of split the seas and let them pass through. I'll stop talking. Every ghost tour comes down here, just so you know. And I don't time this to where we have the whole place to ourselves, but we don't have the whole place to ourselves. We only had half the alley. So here's how this goes. This is, by the way, the one I'm taking out this year because everybody comes down here, and it is a very cliche, very tropey type of ghost story. But I'm going to give you some more details based on what some of the other ghost tours give, because you're not on a campfire marshmallow kind of ghost tour, right? You're ghost hunting. You need those details. Here's how it goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. Now, for those of you that are listening to your spirit boxes, like half with that and half listening to me, if you guys hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it down here all the time because it's part of the doctor's name, Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. So kind of keep that in mind. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda, which could be where we're getting all of the love terms. So with yours, it's going to have to go pretty high for me to be convinced. So, but Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney, helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just received, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd moves to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. On his way into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It's kind of like having a really bad Uber driver, right? So somebody was walking by and seeing everything that was about to happen, and his name was Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop on Ralph for a second because, again, you're ghost hunting. Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. So Mary is going to be looking for the initials RI, and hopefully we get a secondary clue as to who it belongs to. Yeah.
I heard riot.
Riot?
Yeah.
Got it. I mean, I can kind of see where that connection would be. Like, I like to be a little bit more specific, though. So we're going to call that a close but no cigar. I like specific letters. Now, we were getting the letters RI all the time, just like Susan's device, but that's why I have the device that Mary's on. I wanted to make sure we had the concrete letters to make sure it was legit. So RI, again, let's see how it goes. But Ralph, let's get back to him. He tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, your coachman. He's going to try to kill you. He's got a gunman inside. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from those friends of mine, and they'll help you out, and you'll have a safe place to go. The doctor took him up on the offer. The two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. She gets wind of this, and she's moving down soon, so that way they can get married. And Dr. Ladd became known as the whistling doctor. What I will tell you is that every haunted city you're ever going to go to in the future is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. It's part of the reason why I'm taking this story out of my route. Anyway, back to Dr. Ladd. He and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So they go see Richard III one night from Shakespeare, and on the way home, they're arguing over the new actress. The doctor thought she was great, but Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. Kind of an ugly mess. They go their separate ways. I told you Ralph has friends around town, so he goes to the newspaper and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit, right? Doctor saw this ad but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. That's where you're at right now. So this place is called Philadelphia Alley now, but was once known as Dueler's Alley. So they came down here and they took their 10 paces. And by the way, this whole argument started over in Actress. They turn towards each other and the doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend in the duel. He just wanted to have the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel back in those days. Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor didn't die, but he fell to the ground, and Ralph proved his point that he's still pissed off. So his friends pick him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, on November 2nd, 1786. So, depending on which version of the story you read, either yesterday or tonight is the anniversary of that duel. So I'm hoping that we're going to actually capture quite a bit here. That's where the range of motion is. I love dates because that's when things normally occur for me. However, every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests, normally 20 people, to listen for the whistles. We have 3 video cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a whistle, it's going to be on one of those. Not to say it won't come up on a spirit box with the whistling part of a song and the word doctor from a commercial immediately after it. I do not find it coincidental because I've gotten it dozens of times. I've been coming here for 4 years. So it does occur all the time. We've gotten other clues around him, like 59, Amanda, fiance. You get the point. So, oh, by the way, the doctor refused medical treatment during those 10 days that he was, back at his, house at 59 Church Street. Because, first off, it's 1786 when he died. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then, and he's a doctor, which which means he probably just thought he had lead poisoning and probably tried to bleed it out himself. But he failed because he died. So he was 22 years old. I know he had the number 33 that popped up. I was like, oh, it's all double digits. Kind of an odd thing, but just kind of a weird thing. His birthday shows up all the time too. I'm not going to tell you what that is in the event that it shows up at the next location. But if you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through the alley with your voice recorders from your phones, just keep in mind every local knows the story. So anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. I do it every morning. So my office is over here, my parking garage is over there. I have to pass the alley about 4 o'clock every morning, and I always throw a whistle down here, especially since today I got thrown out of here. Let's talk about that. That sounds like fun, right? So, the alley, this was kind of show you guys how I do all my research too. So this alley didn't always go all the way through that way, the way we came in. There was a wall up there, about halfway between, right about where Desmond was sitting on those steps. This used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So imagine a bunch of cows and chickens down here. However, the bricks down at the other side are older than the ones we're standing on. So those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. That means there's a full handprint from a slave child down there and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through down there simply to show the history. It wasn't anything paranormal. What do you got? Muddy. It wasn't anything paranormal. It was just to show how far we've come away from slavery. You know, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find it. We're going to let these groups test it. How you doing, guys?
Pretty good.
You good?
Actually going to Philly.
It was his phone. It's a good call, though. I was going to say the same thing, but you keep stealing my thunder a little bit over there. Overwhelming. So, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there. It's when I first kind of started doing this. And I didn't really know all the boundaries for where tours were allowed to go. And I was showing off that brick, and I told them we just got to move along. Everybody wants to wait around that brick and wait for something to happen with their devices. I know that kid's not there. Again, he's not staring at that brick in the afterlife. He's with his mama somewhere. So I'm trying to shoo him along because it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. So the new owner of that mansion came up screaming. My daughter thought it was great because her dad's getting yelled at, and she thought it was hysterical. And we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I was on Thanksgiving simply because I work for the largest retailer, and again, you guys get the point where I don't like to break up fights over towels. So I don't do Thanksgiving anymore, ever, even with my own business. So the next day was November 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time, and I told him what happened, and he laughed hysterically too, just like my daughter did. And he said, you're only allowed to go down halfway, dude. That's the cutoff line for tours, because it's residential past that. So I said, what do I do now? He's like, you got to reroute your group. So I was like, oh shit, the rest of my route was that way. So I told my group that night, it's Black Friday. I'm sold out again. So I got to tell them, we're going to reroute, but I've never had anything happen at the next location. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. We're going to be discussing pirates next, in case you haven't caught on to that. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating, the famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. We get up and around the corner, somebody else with a spirit box, here's the number 300. I don't know what that one means. I'll write it down. I'm doing the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. So we were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So you guys were like, I see a lot of like, holy shit, that's cool stuff. I was pissed. Let me tell you why. I have a master's degree in creative writing. So even when I'm writing fiction, I like facts and data to be able to prove things and, you know, make a story out of things. When I'm doing this, it has to be facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, which were written 100 years after the alleged occurrences. So it's very difficult to piece these things together. However, what we're about to discuss at the next location came from a minimum of 2 resources for every line I'm going to give you. It is a lot of fun. It's a crazy story, and it's a big roll of the dice if she's even going to be there, which is why I like to bleed over from this location because we're going directly across the street from that, you know, the courtyard that you see. So again, it's a weird thing. Before we leave the space, this gate, I like to point this out too because not all the tours talk about this. I don't think anybody knows what the hell this gate is. Remember I told you the alley didn't go all the way through this way? If there was a loser to the duel down here, this was a shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, they had to carry the dead body all the way down to Queen Street and then double back to get up to the cemetery. So I call this the death gate, even though the gate itself probably wasn't put there until the early 1900s. You can definitely see that the archway is part of the original wall. So very interesting little tidbit of history of why I like to stop exactly right here. Not to mention, we're in the shade. It's kind of creepy and dark, right? So anything crazy that you guys may have heard or any numbers I need to know about before we leave this space?
Well, when they was Ralph was the murder, is that right?
No.
No, the doctor.
Doctor was from Rhode Island.
Back then, would they would have called him a yank? term been used?
It didn't come about until
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay, because that popped up
1786.
while you were talking about
Say
it.
Jay, really?
Yeah.
I'll dive in.
Bride did too.
And Bride, yeah.
Talked about the story.
Well, Ralph wasn't directly from here either. So I want to say he was from Connecticut. But I'll definitely look up the history of Yankton. We'll stay out of the way of the other tours. When we do get up and around there, if there's going to be anybody out. Again, Tuesday nights, I'm probably the only one looking tonight.
Y'all more good.
No, because every time I hear something or say I hear something, it's nothing. And I know it's something. Like, literally shut up. Static in my ear for 50 minutes straight. For no reason. Like, yeah, the bass was like, what's the fuck over there? Oh, that's stupid. Why is it moving? Because you're shoving your fingers in that shit. That's like crazy. I'm bleeding. Whoa. Is that good?
Thank you. I'm about to change it to SZA and just listen to SZA the whole time. I keep hearing SZA. No. Taylor, were you recording that whole conversation? Like, was this on? Was this on the whole time? Was this on the whole time? No? Yeah.
I'm good. I'm really good.
You got the camera now?
Yes. Well, why hadn't I heard 98 Capital and She Smoke? That's interesting. Interesting. I love that. It's so pretty. Oh, the star's so bright.
I have a big tour November for it, so it's almost sold out. I like it. All right, Brenda, what do we got on yours?
Well, it's funny because it was fruit, and then a little bit later it was opinion. It's like, and they were both really clear. I think it's very clear. Yeah.
Where's the word broken here? I'm sorry, excuse me, back to you. November 4th. Where's the two after that?
Protect you. What was the other one I said?
There was another phrase.
Yeah.
There was. You'll see me.
You'll see
me. Yeah.
There's almost a problem based on where we came from, just because in November, like after Halloween, is when I start to investigate the new space for the following year. So November 4th, I'm gonna have to make sure that I don't cut out Philadelphia Alley. So it's a big night, so I probably won't. I usually start looking into the new space when I have like much smaller groups, like under 4. It's just much easier to be able to do it. So anybody else hear anything? What's going on with the word list? We had another wood still. Any other spirit box work? I know you three ladies are keeping.
Bella heard 98.
98. No. Oh, yes. Actually, 98 is relevant. So, any more things spelled out for your end that you can make out? this is me thinking out loud, everybody. Like, I'm crazy. You guys gotta, like, you signed up with the weirdos. So, by the way, if you're wondering where all the other weirdos are in town, look around. You're that.
Exactly.
So when we have, like, on a Saturday night, and it's, like, super busy down here, you guys all get looked at weird because you have blinky lights, you got cameras running around town, and all the other tours are like, what the hell did we sign up for? In the last location, like, I take off the backpack, and it says paranormal investigator on the back, and I do that on purpose, and all the other tourists can see, like, what we're doing, because the next stop is a lot different than what we're doing now. So let me explain that before we get into the history of why we're here, because we will be able to spread out. We're going to be doing the Estes method at the next location. What is the Estes method? Anybody here unfamiliar with that? Okay, so we have one person that knows what it is? Perfect. Let me explain. So I'm going to take one person with a spirit box, I'm going to blindfold them. And I'm going to put noise-canceling headphones over top of their ears with the spirit boxes above them. And I'm going to talk to them as if they were our ghosts, and they're not going to know the history of the space. Like, some of you are looking at me like, okay, what the hell is that all about? So it's basically like they're going to be channeling and being able to talk to me as if they were the ghost that I'm trying to hunt down. There's a secondary part. A secondary person is going to be sitting next to them wearing a VR helmet. And they're going to have my phone in that helmet that's going to basically create AI imagery out of the magnetism around that area. These are images that have never been seen before. I've been doing that VR piece for probably, we'll just say 4 months at this point. I've yet to see the same image twice. What happens here is when I have somebody that's blindfolded, sometimes it looks like a conversation going on, and then the other person has got complementary images to kind of like supplement what is being said. Those two people will not know the history at all. So I take the other 9 of you, teach you the 5-minute history, and then we go back and we talk to those folks as if they were the ghost. So now that you know what we're going to be doing at the next location, I haven't chosen anybody yet, so if anybody wants to volunteer themselves when I'm doing my round robins, feel free to let me know. She doesn't have a spirit box is the problem. I try to like make sure it's a person that's been using it for the past 2 hours, so that way their ears are a little bit more trained. I usually pick a person from 2 different groups, but if you're both volunteering,
I love it.
you guys are good with that?
Yeah.
Boy.
He's definitely good at picking up. Yeah, you pick up really good.
These people are so funny.
All right, let's talk about why we're here. Oh, I just make you talk a lot. Yes, a lot. We're on point. This is actually a pretty decent word list. It's been a long time since I've had to do that. Wow.
Show up in Spanish, can't
I love how dedicated Susan is right now, by the way. Like, she is so laser focused. So, like, she's got her head down, and I can't tell if, like, she's listening to me at all, because she's like, all right, I'm going to hear something. So you said Mexican. I hear hat dance. You know,
I don't want to miss it.
well, I think you have the one that's recording, right?
I don't know, is it?
Is it? You have a red handle, like a red strap?
Yes.
Yes, then you're recording. Okay. So even if you do miss it, you're going to get the recording back.
Okay.
So, again, have some fun. Lighten up. I'm just giving you a hard time. The little building up there, those are not crosses on that building. Those are earthquake bolts. If you don't know what those are, they're basically turnbuckles. If you have another earthquake like what we did in 1886, you can turn those turnbuckles opposite ends, and it'll tighten up the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. Yeah, it's bullshit. So the reason I bring those, well, by the way, you guys have seen them all over town in Charleston, bullshit, lion heads, pineapples, all kinds of craziness. Even the apartment building behind it, the brick building, has them on every single floor. So the reason I bring up those big giant crossed ones is because that's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because that's part of the reason why we're here. That's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. Now, we are here simply because Anne Bonny, our ghost, came here around the same time that this building was being constructed. This is what I call a familiar. So you guys that watch the TV shows, you've all seen that Boo Buddy. It basically has Mary's EMF meter in there, so when a child comes nearby, it looks like the whole teddy bear lights up. They do that because the child would recognize it as a toy. Same principle here. We don't have many buildings this old, especially from Anne Bonny's time era, so that's why we're here. So it's a big roll of the dice that she's going to be a servant with a knife to the belly when Anne was only 7, 8, or 9 years old. So I just like to give you guys the mentality of this young lady as we kind of go through her story. Fast forward. She's more of a...
Oh, you're the quietest one. There's other people talking.
Is this?
Then that's recording. See? Now it's recording. Whenever I tried.
Oh, so I wasn't recording that entire time.
Hello?
like the way you can shut
You
it
can
really
turn
down.
it around, you know? I
Let her
think like
see.
that. Queen, come stand next to me, please. No, not you. I want the ghost. Come here, Queen. Why does it look cracked? Why is the iPad cracked? I didn't do that. Where did that come from?
Where?
Was that there before?
I don't see
It looks like a crack. Are these ghosts trying to trick me? I think they are. What if the ghost just came out of nowhere and scared me and like I literally peed?
You literally
So far I'm not seeing anything. I kept seeing something near the light, but
Literally, the only way that would work if there's like an object. So.
it's like only time I see anything like at the tree. Around the tree, it was looking like something was hanging from the tree. Like, normally it takes up the branches, but it looked like it ended at a branch, and then the start of a body was there. I don't know if people were hung from the tree. They probably were. They're probably hung from every tree. But I don't see anything. So
I don't think that works how like we want it to work. I just think it locates something and then it outlines it.
and it's also very dark.
The only person that like I actually believe though is probably me. Because I know
See like right here. It looks like someone's hanging. But it's kind of because it's a lamp. And then it's like over there it starts. And then like up here it started. Up like around here.
Yeah.
Right here it started. And then it started dancing. And then like...
It was over on this side.
It like starts right here though. And that's obvious because it's a lamp. But like what if I do... Oh, my finger.
Oh wow.
Okay, anyways. I don't really see anything here. Oh.
What?
Oh, it's...
Don't worry.
Oh. Oh. Get it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Why is it actually dancing? Like, I'm barely moving. Did people actually get hung from these trees?
Oh, that's just
It's a shadow.
Oh wow, that's so cute.
I don't know if
generally
it's
think
just
that's
the
tree, though.
trees.
But it's weird because it moves. Like, that tree's not moving. That's what I find weird about
It's
it.
right next to the tree, actually. It, like, keeps going next to the tree. Like,
Oh.
and I don't know.
It
I
looks
think
like it just is like...
Like, did people get hung from these trees? Because that's what it seems like, and it probably is. This is Charleston. Everyone got hung by everything. I wouldn't doubt if someone literally climbed that and jumped off.
Oh. It looks like someone just jumped.
I would.
That's kind of cute.
Why? I keep saying why. It looks like a why. Why?
Maybe
Why?
they're trying to
Why are we
research us.
here?
Why
Where?
are we here?
Maybe they're asking why we're still here. Why do we care? I care because I love you and you are valued. I don't see anything at all.
I think it's funner with the stories, like...
And it's like over here, I keep getting something, but that's also where the trees are at. And I don't know if people died in these places and they're like represented by the tree.
I mean, hopefully he'll watch it and then like he'll do some research and like...
I don't know, man.
I hope nobody hanged himself. Or
Hung?
got hanged.
Hunged?
No,
Hung.
hanged.
Nobody hanged themselves. That's not how it
That's
works.
good. I hope nobody hung themselves. That sounds so weird.
It doesn't, though.
It does though.
Okay, shut up. I don't care.
No.
I see nothing.
Yeah, you can go ahead and keep it under for 10 minutes. So, and that's it. Any more than that, it's a little sensory overload. So,
A white outfit and a blood. There's an arm, but it looks like it doesn't have a hand. What is the weirdest thing ever? A lot of blood.
it'll make a whole lot of sense when we pull you out of there. Henry, let's talk about our image that you just showed us. Can you tell us what that is or anything specific about it? I'll take the date of when that occurred.
Around you.
Henry? You know, we don't spend a lot of time doing this. Battle. If we want to go back to the war, you can tell us how you died. I'm okay with that. Obviously, you're looking for the letters TB at that point. Henry, do you want to tell us how you died?
Display.
The book is on display. I like it.
Sample.
Sample of his work. Wow. I know it sounds like a big stretch, but we don't normally get clues this defined from an outside source other than what these two ladies have going on. Henry, when does that sample of your work, when is it displayed? What holiday? It should be an easy one for you to grab from all of those communications coming through.
55.
Henry, what holiday is your last page displayed? Anything going on with yours?
I
then?
got 1990.
No evidence.
No evidence. Henry, do you want us to leave? Do you want us to go home? I know this is a very difficult month for you. You passed
The
away.
heartland believeth.
Oh, that's a serious phrase. I know that you passed away during this month, and yesterday was the anniversary of Lily's death. I know I'm poking the bear out here. This is how we learn.
What is that?
I don't know. You tell us.
Key. It's keys. Like
Keys?
old fashioned keys.
Are you serious? How many keys are in it?
1, 2, 3. Keys.
Wow. Okay.
One of them has like a symbol on it.
Is there anything like tied to those keys? A leather strap?
Oh, no, it doesn't look like it.
Notice she was quiet during all of that. Henry, let's get back to those two keys. What's going on there? Are you trying to tell me something that I'm just missing? Henry, are you here with us?
No.
Okay. So what did we just see in the image? Can you tell us what those are? What just came up in the image? It's relevant because this just happened 2 nights ago. Henry, are you still here?
Designed to help. Market for a new vehicle.
Henry, we're down to about a minute and a half. I've asked you a lot of questions. I'm mainly concerned with these 2 keys. Can you tell me anything I need to know about the 2 keys that we just saw? Of course, I have to explain what all these things that happened with the 2 keys the other night, but I want to know what I need to know. You're on a roll. You screwed it up. Good job. Henry, can you say goodnight to us? We're gonna leave you alone. Can you say goodnight? Henry. Just waiting for one more image. You guys see how I stretch that out?
Looks like a belt or like 2 round things with a strap and little hooks, not hooks, like, like a chain. Yeah, a chain connector.
Hardship.
Like 2 little straps go around and
Hopefully it will when I see it. I'm hoping it's still present in a key thing. This is gonna blow you guys' mind. Like, seriously. I wanna see the damn image. Like, I'm curious. Henry, we're gonna say goodnight.
I have to leave.
Okay. That's a good point. Alright, let's get that thing off your face, shall we? We're all wrapped up there. Both ladies do not get up. I want to make sure you guys are okay because this can be a little disorienting. She was getting dirty pictures for my wife.